My son Freddie was born in June 2011. He's a wonderful little boy. Freddie has no real diagnosis, but what he does have is a whole list of differences in the way that his brain has developed. And this has meant that he has a global developmental delay. They were scanning us every 2 weeks at the specialist hospital, but no one could really tell us what was wrong. They only just could tell us what wasn't wrong. One of the concerning things for us was that even with all the information we had about how his brain was and wasn't developing, early intervention wasn't offered by any service at all. The thought of having to give birth to a baby that we'd essentially had to terminate before the birth was just horrific, and emotionally my husband and I were just totally broken. I think the unknown is the most terrifying thing, and we didn't have any one person that we could turn to for support. As a family, really, we were just lost. If your child has a diagnosis, say for example something that's well known like Down syndrome or cerebral palsy, those support services are in place immediately. So there might be leaflets or somebody to talk to or a group that you could attend. But in a situation like mine, where although the medical history is there, without a diagnosis, nobody knows where to point you, in what direction to point you in. You just never really know what's going to happen, but there's nobody there in the beginning to tell you, actually keep hoping. Hopeful, ever hopeful that that sort of 20% chance that he would be okay would be the 20% that we got, and we didn't. And obviously things could be a lot worse for Freddie than they are, but it's still not what you want for your child or for your family or their siblings, you know, any of that kind of heartache that goes on. Our first experience was very impersonal, not very caring. You were really just a number in a big centre with lots of other parents, with lots of other babies, and to this day I couldn't really tell you any of the names of any of the health visitors. It was somebody different almost every week, just potluck whoever you might see. So it wasn't very comforting, and I have to be honest that after a period of time, once I'd stopped being so concerned about some of the areas that we were looking at, I just stopped going. There are thousands of undiagnosed children out there whose families, siblings and the children themselves need support, and as a first port of call I really think that the health visitor has that chance to really make a difference. You get to see the child itself, look at how they're coping, all of the unspoken cues that can help you draw a bigger picture and find ways to help that family going forward. That's only really going to happen if you visit them at home. And I do appreciate that as health visitors sometimes it can be really hard with all the constraints that you're going through as well, but perhaps if as a health visitor you can, every time you meet a new parent or new parents, almost make it like this is the first day of my job, I need to learn absolutely everything and forget everything else I know. That will give the opportunity to build trust and gain as much information as you need. And my current health visitor is a fantastic listener. She always makes herself available where she can to talk on the phone, to meet in person or attend regular meetings. And she really genuinely cares and actually takes me seriously and will always go the extra mile wherever possible. And in the early days, she really helped put in place gaining extra access to OT, portage, making sure that physio was happening for him. She made sure that we had access to all the relevant services. With so many undiagnosed children out there, one of the best things that you could offer at the appropriate time for that family is perhaps just the contact for relevant charities that might be able to help them, one of them being Swan UK. They do lots of activities, but one of the key things is that it's a confidential forum for parents of undiagnosed children to talk about their worries, their fears, their achievements, and just have general support 24 hours a day. And that has been one of the best things for me, because actually now I don't feel alone. Although Freddie's 3.5, he now can take independent steps. He is non-verbal, but he has learnt about 30 Makaton signs, so he can now communicate. And those milestones, no matter how small or how late it comes in their life, it's a massive achievement, and everybody celebrates it, and you have support on a positive side as well. So a number of years down the line, I have come to realise that actually one of the services that are best placed to help families like me are health visitors. It's these families that really do need you to be their advocate. You are one of the first ports of call when discharged from hospital, and you have the ability to spend time in our homes, talking to us, meeting us for a good period of time. And I really want to see the health visiting service offering these services out to parents as early as possible. I think it's essential that health visitors listen. They really listen to the parents, to their fears and concerns, because more often than not, the parent is the expert on their child. Although you are the professional expert, they're with their baby every single day, and more often than not, through not listening, that's when things get missed.